Hey, I'm Kristen. I'm going to share some divine messages today. Let's check in with our angels, saints, ancestors, and spirit guides. Let's call them into our space, surrounding us in divine white and love. And so it is. All right, so I got some cards, okay? First one out is the Magician. So this really talks about your ability to create your reality. And then we have the Hermit. All right, this talks about going within and tapping into your guidance. Someone who has maybe been through the process of purification, and there's this awareness about you that you take with you. You could feel called at this time. There are big decisions to make when it comes to this path of yours, this journey. And then I have the Queen of Wands. And so this tells me that you've stepped into your power, your sovereignty, you're taking inspired action. And as you can see in this card, this Queen of Wands is exhibiting like a certain skill set. So there's something that you've learned, practiced, and become very efficient at. And then I pulled an oracle card from the Shadows of Light deck, and I got the Wanderer. Okay, this talks about freedom. It says, he knows that there is nothing that he needs to hold on to, for he carries the wisdom of knowing his true freedom. Right? That's truly what this is. This is about mastering a certain skill set, learning how the universe works, and working within the universal laws, applying this and using your resources wisely, having like conscious creation. He is never alone, for the stars will follow him wherever he goes, guiding his path, which stretches out in every direction. Guiding his path, stretching him out in every direction. In peace, he knows that everything is perfect, and it is as it should be. He is completely free to be whoever he wants to be, to think whatever he wants to think, and to live however he wants to live his life. Right? We all have decisions to make. This is like free will choice. Two of Swords. All right. And then we have the Queen of Wands. So being inspired, being authentic, being sovereign, having that free thinking. Everything that you want is yours. You are the creator and that which is created. The Magician. Both the being and that which you are becoming. You are the chooser, the act of choosing, and that which is chosen. You are the guest of honor and the host of your own reality show. The freedom that you are seeking outside may only be experienced according to the freedom that you have grown within you. So, powerful message. We're going to get a couple more cards from this oracle deck, and then we will continue with a little bit more tarot. Shall we need it? So many of you have, in the sense, graduated, okay? You may identify with reaching a certain level of experience and have done a lot of work when it comes to learning. I feel like now it's time for applying, especially when it comes to where you're called to go next. I feel like you may not have all the information, but you have enough to decide. And again, like that choice, right? Choosing as it relates to being chosen, right? And then in this sovereignty, taking inspired action as it relates to this. You could experience a lot of sensitivity. Okay, so going through some sort of path where you've had to kind of like swim through the rough waters and navigate, maybe through a lot of your own emotions, and maybe learning how to process what's yours, what isn't yours, and remain sovereign as a result of it. Inspired, having boundaries, knowing what's for you, what isn't for you, and being okay with whatever choice that is that you need to make, right? Knowing that you're the creator of your own reality. All right, responsibility and loyalty. All right, so I feel like either this is representing you and you taking your role here, your power, your authority, your sovereignty very seriously. Okay? So what you create is your responsibility. All right? You have to be consciously responsible for your intentions and actions. I feel like you've shown great loyalty to the cause, whatever cause that is that you are being asked to stand up for. And I feel like it's very belief driven. I have reciprocity, the mother. I can't show it, she's very naked, but we are going to talk about it. Her natural state is generosity. When she is in the right relationship, she is abundant like earth, unburdened by the dependency of her children. Her giving does not waver, for she is the source of life. Long before, she too was the child being held and nurtured. She understands the cycle of reciprocity. We are both the mother and the child, the nurturer and the one who needs to be nurtured. If we fall out of balance with one another, we may find that we may have given much more than we intended, or taken much more than what was offered. Neediness and dependency becomes a drain, and we cannot pour from an empty cup. Look deeper into the exchange of energy in your relationships. What is the pattern? How are you choosing to play out the rhythm of giving and receiving? Whose welfare are you prioritizing, and how can you find greater balance? Wow. Let's pull a couple tarot cards on the mother. The Chariot. I feel like there's willpower involved here. There's integration involved here. There's purpose here. There's nurturing oneself here. Let's see. Persevering over difficult challenges. Okay. Working collectively. Okay. Towards greater understanding and consciousness. Operating from a place of love. Okay. This energy represents balance. It represents fluidity and being in flow with nature. Surrounded in love. It's like nirvana. Creating your own personal nirvana. You are the creator of your own reality. So this is you manifesting this for yourself. It's like whatever you are working on within you is being represented in your environment, your reality. Okay. I have a King of Wands. Okay, so masculine, feminine energy, fire sign energy, doesn't have to be those specific signs, but what I'm getting is there very well could be something coming into your reality here as a result of you meeting a certain level of expertise. And this was a process of your own personal growth and development. And here's where you get to work with all of that. It's like you made it, okay? You figured it out. And then I have a Knight of Swords. I feel like this really is about not letting your fears get the best of you. Specifically if these are things that like are in your environment. So it could be programming. It could be other messages. It could be someone wanting to speak with you, communicate with you. I feel like you've had to navigate like a difficult path because you have had a lot of opposition. You've had a lot of people trying to run game on you. Okay, and as a result, you may have had to navigate some difficult waters. And understanding that like not all your thoughts are yours, in the sense of like sometimes there are projections, sometimes there are things that really aren't in alignment for us. And so oftentimes we have to be stronger than our own mindset and thoughts. It's like grabbing a hold of what we think, because it does create. And that is something that is like one masters, okay? Not letting your thoughts and emotions run the muck, all right? Having perseverance and commitment, regardless of the opposition. Let's see. This King of Wands is still here. Here's the World card. So I feel like there is something that you're meant to, I feel like you're meant to cross paths, okay? You're meant to cross paths. 5 of Pentacles, or you have crossed paths. 6 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles. King of Swords, Temperance, and then we're going to get an oracle card for this row. Yeah, I feel like there might have been a lot of like not wanting you to see your potential, not wanting you to see your own gifts and abilities, like there being this oppressive energy here. However, you're the alchemist. Look at this card, right? It talks about creativity, all right? So I feel like you were in a situation, or you found yourself like at rock bottom, needing to find another way. And as a result of your experience, it was a catalyst for creativity, for you to go within, okay? I feel like this was a sense of victory. I feel like you took a really difficult situation and you created something that can be celebrated, recognized. I feel like you're heavily supported. I'm also getting, you're also very divinely protected with the King of Swords. This is like mastering your mind, okay? Mind over matter. This can represent having this divine connection, being able to receive messages, having a big picture, seeing the bigger picture, being able to, you know, overcome what was set for you to learn from. Because the King of Swords sits high up on the top of a mountain. So that represents like you've overcome some very difficult challenges and are at the top. So you see things from a different vantage point. And I'm also getting with this Temperance, it talks about like, this is divine energy. Temperance is like, you know, finding balance, being able to transmute, being able to alchemize. So what I'm getting here is that you've learned the mastery of alchemy. And as a result of that, you're in the process of integration. So you may be finding yourself needing more rest, needing to really be careful of what you're tuning into. You may need to tune out even. I feel like you've you know, been able to follow all the different breadcrumbs and put it all together. So you very much now you can feel like you're putting things together, and you're in this sense of like the old you no longer exists. So you're in this like new version of you, and you're like, what's next? What's next? I feel like you're here to balance out a lot of this energy here for the collective. Not just collectively, but also for yourself, maybe within your family. You're birthing something new, okay? Splitting the deck, and I have the birthing card, and it talks about release. I want to show you it to you, but I can't show you the picture due to the nudity. But I feel like you're about to birth something new, and it's massive. Like what you're here and what you're contributing to is for the highest and greatest good. Like this is like a spiral. So it creates like a ripple effect. What you're creating doesn't just impact you, it expands. So it's like you're expanding. You're no longer playing it small. Ace of Swords. All right, so this is it's almost like wisdom, right? You have access to this wisdom now that you maybe didn't have access to, but now you have access to everything that you need. So it's like that phrase, I have all that I need. I feel like maybe there's a bit of almost like conflict here, so that you didn't trust, that you didn't rely on your wisdom, your knowledge, your knowing. I feel like this was redirection for you. Whatever this rejection was, it was to align you, okay, with what you're here to create, okay? I feel like whatever you experienced, there was this process of freedom, liberation, okay? Freedom, reciprocity, creativity, amazing energy. Let's get a couple more cards. Six of Swords. Yeah, this is going in a different direction than maybe where you were before. This is a bit of redirection and moving on towards calmer waters. It's like being in alignment now. Yeah, and this is like the Wanderer. This is like freedom here. King of Pentacles. This represents masculine energy. It represents being a leader, especially when it comes to your physical reality, you know? Excuse me while I sip. Delicioso. Ay, ay, ay. King of Pentacles. So you could have created something from this, right? We get the creativity. Maybe it's business related. This also can represent like the material world and understanding that like this mother energy, it's been imbalanced for a while. So this could be something that you're doing just by you doing your own personal work. You're contributing to balancing the consciousness and the energy and the collective, right? Where it's very dense in the masculine energy. And so with this rising, right, of this mother reciprocity energy, it's like bringing balance to the situation so that the creation benefits the all, not just the few. Ace of Swords. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? All right, so there is something that has a higher power here, a higher authority, something that rules over man. And there's a need to create while understanding these universal laws, okay, and truths, right? Because what you think about actually creates your reality. And so understanding these laws, okay, the devil, right, going through these trials and tribulations helps us to reconnect and remember why we're here and what we're being called to do. And there are laws above man. I feel like many of us are seeing this play out in real time, right? The fall of the ego. Six of Pentacles. 6 could be represent an angel number for you. I have the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, so I feel like whatever you've been doing, it's been focused on reciprocity, okay, giving and receiving, sharing what you know, sharing what you have, right? Maybe this is your story, maybe this is a gift that you can share with others. I feel like you're learning that by working on yourself step by step, 9 of Pentacles, this is you realizing that you can do it on your own. You are worthy. You are enough. You are grace. You are a blessing. And I feel like maybe what others saw in you, you finally now see. And that is your self-worth. And so now you're kind of called to have the clarity when it comes to whoever you exchange your energy with. If they don't see you if they don't respect and see your value and worth, then there's no equal exchange. And this is you prioritizing your self-worth over giving it away, maybe to others. There's something that you've learned and gained along the way that benefits others. Okay, so you do have something of value to share. But just because you have the resources, in whatever way that is, right, doesn't mean that everybody deserves to exchange it with you, right? So there's a need to have some sort of priority when it comes to who receives your love and who doesn't, who receives your medicine and who doesn't. Because we do have, you know, a lot of loss here, a lot of like boredom, unhappiness, like feeling like, you know, something didn't really work out the way that maybe it was intended. But I feel like there was a lot going on that was unseen. And there's a need for you to value yourself first and foremost over someone else and their own experiences. With this Four of Cups, I'm getting that you had to end a difficult cycle with somebody, or just people in general, your relationships. This represents like your relationships. I feel like you learned difficult lessons. And as a result, like maybe you offered your cup to somebody and they rejected it, right? I'm getting like you now realize that that wasn't for you anymore. And so you had to decide to choose yourself in the situation. And maybe you have a pattern of choosing others over you, prioritizing others over you. I feel like part of your spiritual wisdom and knowledge was to find balance in that. I do have an Emperor here. Someone at this time could be observing your progress, your growth, and feel like, you know, they didn't see it when they had it. And so now they have to watch from afar. They may feel stuck and stagnant in their own mindset and not sure how to free themselves. They could be very focused in the materialism and the ego and operating from a place of limiting beliefs, right? It like creates this false sense of illusion and control. Maybe someone's feeling like they're not able to escape their reality. So if they're feeling like they can't escape their reality, they may want to try to affect yours with the Seven of Swords. This may have been something that you had to overcome. The fear of what other people think of you and how you're moving, right? Maybe that is their container to be surrounded in self-limiting beliefs and fear because they're not able to, they're not able to release those burdens for themselves. I feel like they care what people think, they care what people say. They may surround themselves with like that gratification. I'm also getting with the Seven of Swords, this can talk about your own inner reality and how it can affect your outward reality, right? Like the negative thoughts, okay, can literally manifest and create blockages for you. And so this was something that needed to be grasped, right? It's part of the lesson here. I'm getting though, this very much could be outside energy that might have been trying to control the narrative here when it comes to you, your path, maybe a connection you had. But I feel like you're the author of your story. And I feel like this is how like you take your power back. You're like, no one has authority over me, right? No one's gonna tell anybody how my life's gonna turn out but me. I'll be the one telling that story. I'll be the one writing that book and reading that book, right? It's like that kind of energy, right? The Sun. I feel like if there were plots and plans, okay, from outside influences, you already know the truth. And the truth is God's truth. And you'll take that truth over any kind of false narratives and truths from outside influences. And that's when you take your power back and you liberate yourself, because you no longer are falling for the false illusions. Okay? Eight of Pentacles, Two of Wands. I feel like you were called to work for God, or you were called to do something that you've been mastering. I feel like this Eight of Pentacles is like making and creating better patterns for yourself, ones that are in alignment for you, one that is going to lead to a legacy. Maybe you've been forced to choose your, this is like you choosing, right? Instead of like being chosen, right? Like gifted in a sense. Like you had all of this within you. Now you've unlocked it. And because you've unlocked it, you have the ability to change the course of your life. And not just your course, but maybe you have an influence to help others. And so I'm getting like that Five of Pentacles, like whatever you experienced was a catalyst for your growth. And there's this recognition when it comes to this. So whatever decision you made that was divinely inspired here was to not only help yourself, but to help others. There's like evidence. There's something that is witnessed. Whatever you create is being witnessed. There is this almost like realization here that whatever was used against you did not prosper as it was intended. In fact, they could be observing you and wondering how you were able to escape the trap they set. They may very much find themselves in this trap and having to rethink about their lives and the direction that they're taking. There could be this crossroads here. As a result of others observing you and how you've handled a very difficult situation. I feel like that's the influence here. You have influence. I feel like oftentimes we don't think we have influence, but we truly do. We have influence over those who we're meant to find, or they're meant to find us. So there could be some sort of looking up, watching, observing, maybe even praying, connecting, meditating. A lot of this is the mind, right? Like, yeah. Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. I'm getting this very much could be as it relates to a dynamic here. This also can represent like how you determine value in your life, maybe before you value different things and now you've like realigned yourself. I'm also getting like this could be some sort of like agreement that comes your way that helps to further your development, your growth. This could be material wise, or this can represent like it's going to help you ground. It's also going to help you have some sort of ability to share with others in some capacity. And this could be online. Doesn't have to be. I feel like there's a strong intuition here that I'm picking up on. I have a King of Cups in the blocked position. I feel like you're protected from an energy that may find themselves out in the cold here. All right. I feel like, you know, this also is like a catalyst for them too. There's some realizations playing out here for them. They may find themselves in a position of loss at this time. Maybe what they valued most, they no longer have access to. And as a result of that, there will be some realization as to what's truly important in life. So I feel like through an agreement with you, a contract, you learned what's really important in life for you. And I feel like they are as well. Maybe not in the same sense, but still, they're learning this as well. I'm also getting like what you create, right? Or what you intend for others very much could be your own creation. So they very much could be experiencing a bit of upset when it comes to their physical reality at this time. It's like something's being flipped upside down. Okay, I feel like this very much could be so that this energy that I'm picking up on, this King of Cups, finds a way of balancing what's going on in the inside with what's happening on the outside. I feel like this is like emotional instability here, or doing things from a place of manipulation. Oh boy. It's got a lot that just shot out here. We have a 9 of Wands. So this is like, you know, having to reflect on what's transpired. Someone needing to look and see like, okay, what patterns am I repeating here? How did I end up in this situation? Right? It's like that wounded warrior energy. Okay. It's like, you know, having to be accountable for your own actions and reactions. Maybe someone finds themselves, you know, having to watch from afar. I do have an 8 of Cups and a 10 of Pentacles. So this could be what they're watching, what they're observing, what they're witnessing. Is that you chose yourself and you chose your calling. And this is leading you away from anything that was no longer serving you, people, places, and things. This is you realizing there's more to your experience here, and you're going to go create it, and you're going to experience what you need in order to create a better life for yourself. And this is what you're connecting to, is the 10 of Pentacles. This is, you know, stability, security, not just in this lifetime, but also maybe for the future. So this is you not playing it small, and you accepting what you went through with grace and paying it forward. Having enough to bless others with your gifts. Now, these gifts could be whatever they need to be. It's abundance, it's connection, it's family, it's friends, it's stability, it's security. It's also happiness. It's also like, you know, working through the different cycles and maybe even the patterns in your family, and you going the lonely road so that, you know, this can be brought into balance. There's this balance being restored here. There's this sense of security. Maybe what you once thought was secure was false. And so you're no longer falling for the false illusions, right? And now you're creating something that you've been working very hard on. We do have the 9 of Pentacles here. So I feel like you're on your way. You're on your way. I feel like whatever you're establishing here, whether you're the feminine or the masculine, you're on your way. I feel like there's something coming in that is going to take this to the next step. We're going from the 9 to the 10. So we have a Page of Pentacles. This is something that's coming in that is going to set this on fire. I feel like you're surrounding yourself maybe by those who are resourceful, dependable, know their own worth and value, right? It has something to do with like potentially a Knight of Cups. Who's this Knight of Cups? This could be like a Knight of Cups and a 9 of Cups. I feel like you're looking really good. Masculine or feminine energy, flip it, switch it, doesn't really matter. But I feel like you may have like put the wish out there, like here's what I'd like to experience in this next chapter of my life, and then it shows up. You're like, holy shit. I feel like you're surrounding yourself with those that you love, that you want to share time with. Maybe you're having beautiful experiences here. This is like your wishes and dreams coming true. And you very well could be attracting that with this Knight of Cups. This could be someone sharing their interest, taking inspired action. You may have something here of 2 knights, so you may have to pick between 2. Or this is representing like you have similar interests, similar hobbies, similar passions, purpose. And so this might be also what you've aligned with, is like, I want to have a relationship with somebody, friends, colleagues, partnerships, love, that also have their cups full, and to the point where they understand that they're refillable, right? Like, you know, so there's a bit of like reciprocity here. There's a bit of like alignment here. There's a bit of, you know, following one's passion and purpose here, doing things from a place of love and from the heart space. A lot of cups here. The Devil at the bottom of the deck. What is this Knight, and what are the 2 Knight of Wands and Knight of Cups? The Moon. So I'm getting like this energy could also be in their purpose. They could be very spiritually gifted themselves. Okay. Maybe they're following their intuition. Okay. And it could be leading them straight to you. You could be going away with them. You could be having new explorations, new adventures, heading in a new direction. There's that Page of Pentacles again. I feel like this is something that they could be at a distance too. What's this? This could be work related. I have the Ace of Wands. It's a passionate new beginning here. Something that you will be creating. So this is like co-creation here. And it's like having what you need in order to create what you came here to create. It's beautiful. It's like enjoying the finer things in life and being able to take inspired action to create what you came here to create. All right. I feel like there's this opportunity coming to do so. And I feel like whatever you're creating could very much be like a fresh start. It could be as a result of a fresh start. I feel like there's certainly challenges here, maybe even obstacles. I feel like, you know, having strong boundaries for yourself is important. This could be, look at High Priestess and the Hierophant. So whatever this is, I feel like this is a bit of like help is on the way, kind of. I feel like the Hierophant and the High Priestess, I feel like you have higher spiritual callings here, the 2 of you. You're meant to teach, you're meant to collaborate, you're meant to share wisdom and knowledge, specifically like hidden wisdom and knowledge. Maybe there's information that you're meant to share, teachings, experiences, connection here that isn't mainstream per se. All right, so I feel like there is a spiritual contract here, okay, with whoever's coming in, all right, and they're coming in hot with this Knight of Wands. All right, I feel like they may observe what you create already. There's some sort of like, wow, like they may see you in this bright light. I feel like there's confidence and courage here. Amazing. Yeah, I'm getting like this is also like strong masculine energy too, like creation. I'm getting a lot of creation here, and it's actually clarifying like the alchemist energy. All right, so you could be here to create something. There's a shedding of the skin, some sort of transformation here that you're part of with this person. All right, it's like whatever you're creating is for the sake of transformation. All right, and there's balance. There's balance being restored here. It says the juggler. The juggler, huh? Let's see what this one says. It says the game he is playing is only with himself. Although his balancing act is artful, it cannot last forever. When his attention is split into so many different directions, how can he give his full presence to anyone? Which ball would drop first? Which ball would drop first? When so much is happening, he can rush on the hamster wheel of busyness while forgetting that he is the creator. When stress mounts and something needs to give, what will be sacrificed? Often it is his own nourishment. Interesting. Is it also the nourishment of the relationships that mean the most to him or her? Success means little if he bears the loss of his vitality or of his loved ones. When these balls break, everything else seems so trivial. Take a moment to stop, breathe, and remember it's all choice and there's a need to be a balance. How are you managing your energy and what is calling for your attention? Interesting. Yeah, so I'm getting like, this is about bringing things to balance. This is about like relationships and realizing like, I don't want to live this way by myself. I want to share this with somebody. I'm meant to do this with somebody. I'm meant to like create this with somebody. And it's like finding that person, right? Regardless of the obstacles we find ourselves in. There's inspired action happening here. There's cycles playing out here. There's alignment playing out here. Look at all the chakras being represented in this alignment. And this is coming back to center after going through a cycle, right? This transformation, an ending, right? Brings in a new beginning. And that is what you're here to do. You're here to be the creator in your reality. Like, you're the creator here, creating your own reality. So this could be done on like your scale or much larger, and there's balance being restored. As I was talking about earlier, like I was picking up on the fact that like there's masculine and feminine energies coming together to bring balance. But it's as a result of them going through a process, an alchemical process, one that helps to relieve the burdens of the past, the pain, the suffering, the relationships, the moments of feeling unfulfilled and unworthy, to soul search so that there is wish fulfillment. There are desires being met. There is love. There's victory. There is overcoming our challenges and realizing that there is like a higher power and that we are meant to create our reality. And there is clarity when it comes to your experience here, regardless of what we've been told, regardless of the programming, regardless of like the manipulation, the false illusions to keep us small, trapped, stuck, and restricted. I feel like there's something that you're here to create, and it's as a result of you experiencing difficulty, but realizing that that's not all your life's meant to be about. And so leaving something behind that was no longer serving you to experience something that will be serving you is what puts you in this strong position in the first place. The Queen of Wands is an energy that doesn't take no for an answer and will find an alternative way of doing something as it relates to what they're here to create. This is an energy of being sovereign, powerful, motivated, inspiring. You've been inspired to create, and I feel like what you've been creating, it's beautiful to observe. I feel like no one can take this from you. This is something that you've done for yourself, one step at a time. You're understanding that this is all part of a process, and you've trusted this process. And as a result, you're able to move to calmer waters. You are liberated and free. You are the creator having an experience here, and you're in charge of your own reality. You are bringing feminine energy back into balance through reciprocity, and you are the alchemist, and that is self-mastery. Okay, so you should be very proud of yourself. Okay, I feel like people are starting to see this. Maybe there's been a bit of you doing all this work, and maybe now it's seen. Yeah, look at bottom of the deck energy is sovereignty, and this talks about self-empowerment. Self-empowerment, number 8, okay? I need great strength to lift myself from the earth. Once I rise, I am carried effortlessly by the momentum of the wind. I am unobstructed by the confines of the land below. Seeing my target, I know my power to get exactly what I want. Following the call of the open skies, I break away from the nest, knowing that I have everything that I need within me. Also learned. If I rest on the wings of others, letting them determine my power, I may never know my own brilliance. What you believe is possible or impossible. The limitations that you think are holding you back are only there if you adhere to them. Taking full ownership of your own beliefs, thoughts, actions makes you the agent of your own reality. Trust in your power. Exclamation point. How amazing. Yeah, I feel like these two are realizing and stepping into their power, and as a result, there's something they're meant to do together, and that's a beautiful message. That's a beautiful message for those who are really working their steps in their process and aligning to their higher selves and focusing on integrating what they've learned and understanding that they are sovereign beings here, having a human experience, okay? And with that, have empowered themselves to alchemize and create their own reality. And that is some boss energy. And as a result, you're meant to teach those, okay, that you come across on the path. You have courage and you have confidence to do this work. This very much could tie into an awakening, okay, as well as working with someone equal reciprocity, showing what power is between the two, right? It's like duality. Okay, representing duality at its highest forms. That's amazing. All right. So I hope this finds who needs it. I hope it inspired you today, and I hope you take that leap. All right. I feel like this Page of Wands is like you have good news coming. Very good news. So if you're being called to go on a adventure, shall we say, obviously check in with your spiritual team, but I would say that it is for your highest and greatest good, and it's going to be a catalyst for the next chapter of your life. So you might want to say yes. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.